Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is time for another true crime video yet again, and today we will be talking about one of the most infamous unsolved cases from Indonesia. Today we will be talking about the Setiabudi 13 case. Alright, so before we begin discussing today's video, I just want to make a short announcement that I will now be uploading 3 times a week. Tuesdays will still be for true crime videos like this one. However, I will be uploading a follow-up video every Thursday or Friday, reading comments and different theories and thoughts and opinions about the cases that we covered. Basically, I will be taking a look at comments from videos, articles. I will be checking Reddit and Twitter and basically everywhere on the internet. And we will be reading and discussing these together. Now, on Sunday, I will also be uploading a video, and this will be more chill, more random topics. Mostly this will be me reacting to Reddit posts or TikTok uploads and stuff like that. So if you're into something like that, please stay tuned. So just for a short recap, I will now be uploading 3 videos. Tuesdays for true crime, Thursdays or Fridays for a recap, or not actually a recap, but something similar to BuzzFeed Unsolved's post-mortem videos, where I will be reading and reacting to comments, thoughts, and theories regarding the case that we discussed. And on Sunday is just a lot of random fun. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into today's case. On November 23rd, 1981, two security guards of the Garuda Mataram building started off their shift by doing a routine check on the entire vicinity of their workplace. Now they did their normal rounds and thought that it was yet again going to be another normal boring day. However, this was far from reality. The two guards stumbled upon two cardboard boxes that were neatly placed on the sidewalk. And although there was nothing weird nor sinister about this sight, it still caught them off guard, since for them this was quite unusual. These boxes were, as I've mentioned, neatly placed on the sidewalk and seemed to be unattended. The guards had no idea who put these boxes there, but it was definitely out in the open for everyone to see. They then approached these boxes, planning to take a look at what was inside of them. However, as soon as they got closer to they got a whiff of an extremely foul odor. Now, the two guards were suddenly scared to take a look at what was inside. Now, luckily, two traffic enforcers happened to pass by, and the guards decided to ask them for help and to check these boxes. However, the two enforcers were actually kind of busy. I mean, it was around 9 a.m., and everyone was out and about. So they said that they would take a look at it later. However, before they even returned, two scavengers took the boxes, excited at how heavy it was. They thought in their minds this contained something that they could eventually sell for money. However, once they finally opened the sealed plastic bags inside of these boxes, they were mortified. The two scavengers began screaming at the sight, also alarming and catching the attention of passers-by. In the first box were what seemed to be slices of meat that had already gotten bad. And in the second were obviously human bones and a head of a man. Law enforcement were called to the scene immediately, and they too were appalled with what they saw. The contents of these boxes were then carefully packed and submitted to the Criminology Institute of the University of Indonesia, where an autopsy was done. Total of 13 bones and 200 slices of human flesh and organs were found, and it all belonged to the same man, whose head was also inside of that box. Now, it seemed that whoever this John Doe was had been a few days prior to the gruesome discovery. They suspected him to have been killed on November 21st, 2 days before he was discovered. And although he had already started to decompose, his face was still pretty much intact. And at first, the authorities believed that it would be easy to find the identity of this man because they knew what he looked like and they could definitely create a composite sketch and put it out there for everyone to see. However, this was not the case at all. Now, upon being studied and analyzed by experts, they came up with the conclusion that since these bones had rough edges, it indicated that a metal saw was used to beat this man. The bones found were also clean off of tissue and flesh, which gave them the idea that this was done not only by a group of professionals, but by people who had some sort of medical knowledge or background. It was way too precise to have been committed just by a random person who had no idea what he was doing. Or she. So this crime was not carried out by a lone perpetrator. They were sure about that. The police were now looking for a group of individuals evil enough to do something as brutal as this. From his face, the man's hands were still pretty much intact, and they were able to collect his fingerprints. However, his fingerprints did not match anyone in the government's database. A complete description of the victim was then released along with a sketch of what he looked like. He was around 18 to 21 years old, 5'4" in height, was a bit chubby or meaty, and had several moles all over his body. Now, this information, along with the composite sketch, were released to the public, and hundreds of people with missing loved ones came to see his body in hopes of getting answers for themselves. However, none of these people recognized and claimed him. November 26, 1981, this man, this John Doe, was buried in an unmarked grave in a West Jakarta cemetery. Now, what's difficult about this case is that there were no eyewitnesses and no one saw anything strange days before the discovery. In fact, no one ever came up or came forward with leads. The only evidence found inside the boxes were three newspapers dated August 19th and two plastic bags. Now, one of which had the logo of a local bookstore, and the other one had the logo of a nearby supermarket. However, these are places that a lot of the people in the city frequented, and these findings never resulted to anything that would be of use to the case. It has been 41 years since this man was found, and up to this day, nobody knows who he was, who killed him, and why. The public, as well as the authorities, have their own theories, like the mafia being involved, or maybe even their own government. However, they were certain about one thing: whoever this group of murderers were, they definitely wanted to cause terror in the area and in the community and challenge the police. I mean, it was pretty obvious that they wanted everyone to know about this, about what they did, because they left these boxes on the sidewalk for everyone to see. This was a completely busy business district. Plus, although they cut their victim up to pieces, they did leave behind his face and his fingerprints untouched, almost as if they wanted the police to find out who this victim was and who did this to him. Or maybe these people wanted to prove something. Maybe they wanted to prove that their local police was not capable of solving a well thought out murder. I don't know. And yeah, that is pretty much all the information that I have for today's case. As I have mentioned, I will be uploading a follow up video on Thursday where I will be reading and reacting to people's thoughts and theories about this case. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on my next video.